In our world today, it feels like we are constantly being presented with terrible ideas disguised as solutions. Take, for example, the recent proposals to relocate the Palestinian people from Gaza. Let's be very clear about this. Moving over 2 million people from their homes after their cities have been bombed and they are facing starvation is not a choice. It's forced displacement, it's ethnic cleansing. When former President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu stand together and talk about this plan, they are not offering a path to peace. They are proposing to erase a people and their history from the map, all while calling it a redevelopment project. It's a horrifying idea, and one that the world, from the United Nations to Arab nations, has rightly condemned. This is not a solution, it's a continuation of suffering under a different name. Now, let's talk about another place that is synonymous with suffering and injustice, Epstein Island. The name itself makes you recoil. It's a place that represents the absolute worst of humanity, the exploitation of the vulnerable, the abuse of power, and a complete disregard for human dignity. For years, this island was a private playground for the powerful and depraved, a stain on the conscience of the world. It exists as a monument to unchecked evil and the profound trauma inflicted upon its victims. The question is, what do you do with a place so deeply scarred by its past? Do you let it rot, a forgotten symbol of horror, or do you do something radical? Do you try to reclaim it for something good? Imagine for a moment that we could take this symbol of profound shame and transform it into a powerful beacon of hope. What if, instead of building luxury resorts on the ruins of people's homes in Gaza, we took a place already associated with crime and abuse and dedicated it to healing and justice? This is not about forgetting what happened on that island. In fact, it's the opposite. It's about confronting that darkness head-on and declaring that we will not allow such places of horror to define our future. We can choose to build something that honors victims, supports the displaced, and stands as a permanent reminder that justice must always prevail over exploitation. This is where the new Sanctuary Island initiative comes in. The idea is simple but powerful. Let's turn a place of unimaginable pain into a sanctuary for those who have suffered the most. Instead of accepting the narrative of forced migration, we can create a counter-narrative. We can show the world that our response to suffering should not be to shuffle people around like pawns on a chessboard. Our response should be to create spaces for healing, for remembrance, and for rebuilding lives with dignity. This initiative is a direct rejection of the cynical and cruel politics that see human beings as obstacles to be removed. It's an assertion that even from the deepest darkness, we can forge a path toward the light, creating a legacy of justice where there was once only despair. So, what does this transformation actually look like? The new Sanctuary Island initiative proposes a concrete plan to turn this idea into a reality. First, an international fund supported by governments, philanthropists, and ordinary people who believe in justice would purchase the island. This act alone would be symbolic, taking the island out of private hands and placing it in the custody of the global community. It would no longer be a secret hideaway for the wicked, but a place owned by all of us, dedicated to the public good. The island would then be governed by a coalition of respected neutral international bodies, like the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees and the International Committee of the Red Cross, ensuring it serves its mission without political interference. It is crucial to understand that this initiative is not about moving anyone against their will. Let me say that again because it's the most important part. This is not a proposal to relocate any population. It is the exact opposite of the forced displacement plans being suggested for Gaza. The sanctuary would be a place of refuge for those who have already been displaced by war, persecution, and exploitation, offering them a temporary safe harbor where they can heal and plan their futures. It would be a place people choose to come to, not a place they are forced to go. It stands as a principled alternative, a model of how the world can and should respond to humanitarian crises with compassion, not coercion. The initiative has 3 core pillars. The first is remembrance. A significant part of the island would be preserved as a solemn memorial dedicated to all victims of human trafficking, sexual violence, and war crimes. This would include not only the victims of Jeffrey Epstein, but all those who have suffered similar abuses around the world. It would be a place for quiet reflection, education, and a permanent testament to the stories of survivors, ensuring that their experiences are never forgotten. This memorial would serve as a global conscience, reminding us of the constant need to fight against the forces of exploitation and to honor the resilience of the human spirit. The second pillar is renewal. the island would become a vibrant cultural and innovation zone for refugees and survivors. Imagine a place with educational centers, workshops for artists and artisans, and tech hubs where people can develop new skills and create new opportunities for themselves. This is not just about providing shelter, it's about restoring agency and empowering people to rebuild their lives on their own terms. It would be a space where survivors can reclaim their narratives, not as victims, but as creators, leaders, and innovators. This focus on empowerment is key to turning a history of abuse into a future of limitless potential, fostering a community built on shared strength and creativity. The heart of this project lies in its power to redeem a place through active remembrance. The memorial on the island would be more than just statues and plaques. It would be a living museum, using interactive exhibits and survivor testimonies to educate visitors about the global scourge of human trafficking and exploitation. It would be a place where school groups, world leaders, and everyday citizens could come to understand the real-world consequences of these crimes. By confronting the island's dark history directly, we strip it of its power to intimidate and silence. We turn a symbol of secret abuse into a classroom for global awareness, ensuring that the lessons learned from this tragedy are never erased and are used to protect future generations from similar fates. Beyond the memorial, the cultural and innovation zone would be the engine of the island's new identity. This wouldn't be a grim, sad place. It would be a hub of life and energy. Think of it as a global campus for resilience. There would be studios where refugee artists from Syria, Ukraine, and other conflict zones could paint, sculpt, and share their stories. There would be coding boot camps where young people who have lost everything can learn the skills to build a new digital economy. There would be kitchens where chefs can preserve their culinary traditions and share them with the world. This is about giving people the tools not just to survive, but to thrive and contribute their unique talents to our global culture. The island's governance model is also a key part of this redemptive vision. By placing it under the stewardship of neutral humanitarian organizations, we ensure that its mission remains pure. It would be a zone of absolute neutrality and safety, free from the political agendas that so often corrupt humanitarian efforts. This international oversight would guarantee that the island serves all displaced people equally, regardless of their nationality, ethnicity, or religion. It would be a real-life demonstration that the world can come together to create a space dedicated solely to human rights and dignity, a powerful counterexample to the divisive politics we see playing out on the world stage. Ultimately, the new Sanctuary Island initiative is about transforming a narrative of pain into a story of empowerment. It's about taking a piece of land that was used to strip people of their voice and their freedom, and turning it into a platform where their voices can be heard and their freedom can be restored. Every piece of art created, every new skill learned, and every story shared on that island would be an act of defiance against its past. It would be a testament to the fact that even the most corrupted places can be reclaimed for good. The island would no longer be known for the monster who owned it, but for the countless survivors who would rebuild their futures there. The existence of proposals like the forced removal of Palestinians from Gaza is a moral stain on our time. It shows a shocking disregard for international law and basic human decency. We cannot stand by silently while politicians discuss displacing millions of people as if they are merely an inconvenience. This is a moment that calls for a strong, unified response from the global community. We must call on the United Nations, the United States Congress, and governments around the world to unequivocally reject any and all plans for forced displacement, wherever they may occur. Human beings are not chess pieces, and their ancestral homes are not real estate opportunities for redevelopment. The new Sanctuary Island initiative offers a constructive and hopeful path forward. It is more than just a project. It is a declaration of our shared values. It is a way for us to channel our collective outrage at injustice into something positive and life-affirming. By supporting this initiative, we are sending a clear message. We choose healing over destruction. We choose dignity over dehumanization. We choose to build bridges of compassion, not walls of division. We are asking everyone from global leaders to grassroots activists, from tech billionaires to ordinary citizens, to lend their voice, their resources, and their support to make this vision a reality. Let's fund this, let's build this, let's make it happen. This is a call to action for every person who believes in a better world. Share this idea, talk about it with your friends and family. Demand that your elected officials reject policies of forced migration and instead support real humanitarian solutions. We have a choice. We can either accept a world where the powerful can redraw maps and displace entire populations at will, or we can build a world where even the most broken places can be remade into sanctuaries of hope. Let us stand together against the forced removal of people everywhere, from Gaza to any other corner of the globe, where communities are threatened with erasure. Let us write a new chapter. Let us take Epstein Island, a name that currently represents a legacy of horror, and turn it into a symbol of global solidarity and justice. Imagine a future where that island is no longer remembered for the crimes committed there but for the lives that were rebuilt there. Imagine it as a beacon, its light shining out across the waters, reminding the world that humanity's capacity for redemption is far greater than its capacity for cruelty. Let's transform a place of darkness into a testament to our shared commitment to justice, dignity, and a future where no one is disposable. Let's build a sanctuary.